If there's something strange in the neighborhood, who are you gonna call? Kurt Wagner, I guess.
That was so anticlimactic.
Well, I mean, okay. First of all, before we even get into it, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Simply Amazing, the best Nightcrawler podcast by two girls whose names start with L that we have decided officially. I mean, you're not going to find better. You're just not going to find better. We already decided this. It's not going to happen. I am Lisa, aka the OG Nocturne. If you follow me on Twitter, you will see that I'm obsessed with Dreamlight Valley lately. So please come tweet me about Dreamlight Valley. And I have before me a visage in blue and purple and the bi flag. Girl, tell me about yourself.
I feel like you're pulling like a Sandy moment from Grease. Tell me about Stud.
Oh my God.
Iconic.
First of all, I'm a Rizzo. I'm not a Sandy. But you can be Sandy.
Oh, no. See, okay, now we're getting off track. All right, I brought up Grease. That was a mistake. Two things we can't start talking about on this podcast without going off the rails. Rachel Summers and Grease, apparently. We can't.
Well, we're going to get into Broadway in a little bit when we start talking about the issues. But because I got a whole thing to say.
Oh my gosh, there's so much to say. But yeah, I'm Lauren, your friendly neighborhood bi. And we are talking about Nightcrawler 5 and 6 today. This is the 2004 series. And this is the next arc in it. So we already did the first arc, which was 4 issues. And this arc is only 2 issues, actually. But we've still got 6 more in this series as a whole.
Which is honestly crazy to consider we only have 6 issues left. I just put my hand on my mouth. Like, that is such a...
Why are you silencing yourself, Lisa? Don't do that.
I'm trying to feel what the ghosts felt being silenced. Anyway.
Yes.
It's crazy to think we're already halfway through this series because so much is coming. Like, so much happens and so much is coming that it's crazy that like we're already halfway through. But I really like this arc. I thought it was very cute. I'm very frustrated with Kurt for a lot of reasons, and we'll get into that in a moment. And it doesn't get better throughout the entire series. It does not get better. It's just the frustration is there for the entire series.
Listen, I love Kurt here, but he's doing a little, the self-detriment and the emo throughout this series. And it's like, listen, I'm not exactly the 16-year-old. It's like, oh my God, I can fix him. I'm more to like, boy, you gotta help yourself. We give you the tools. You gotta help yourself.
Okay, can I just put it out there for everybody listening? You will never fix them. You will never fix them. Just cut and run. It's not gonna happen. Please. I read way too much "Am I the Asshole" on Reddit and relationship advice. You'll never fix them, guys. You'll never fix them. So move on. Either deal with it or move on. But Kurt needs fixing. Granted. So this issue, the important thing to consider when you're reading this is like this series comes right off the heels, really, of the Draco. I really feel like this came like right after the Draco. So like he's dealing with his own learning his dad is Satan, basically, which again is not true because Destiny is his mother and Mystique is his father. But so he's coming off of that. So of course he's going through, because I'm having a really hard time looking at the guy who fucked the girl who he thought was a damsel in distress, didn't even wait to find out who was the real damsel in distress when he fucked Angelique. Like literally couldn't take 5 seconds to ask a question before his dick was out. And now suddenly we've got a girl who's like, I am here and available and I want everything about you. And he's like, no, I can't do it. No, I'm too emo. No, I just, Kurt, I just can't. But yeah, well, let's get into it, girl, right? Let's get into it. We'll start with the first issue, which just basically sets the scene for everything.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is only a 2-issue arc. So the detective case for the case behind this that Kurt ends up having to solve isn't like super complicated. But I think this arc is super nice in that we get to see a lot more interaction between him and other characters. So like we start with Storm and Logan and him and Christine Palmer all hanging out, and it's kind of cool to see them all in that way, because I can't think of another comic where I've seen just 4 of them just hanging out and doing whatever they need to do. Like, who sees that?
To be fair, this is the only comic series Christine Palmer has ever been in, other than one single issue outside of it. So you won't see her hanging out with anybody else.
Oh my God.
It's funny. She has more connection to X-Men than she does Doctor Strange, and yet she's in Doctor Strange movies. But that's besides the point. But yeah, she's only ever been in this series and one other issue outside of this series.
That's so depressing.
I know, because I love her so much. She's so great. Like, she should come back. I want Christine Palmer back.
She gets a short end of the stick in this issue. Like, we keep beating around the bush, and I'm just like, that. Oh my god, she deserves better than this.
We keep beating around the bush because Kurt won't. So.
It's true. I will gladly do it, Kurt.
So
we're hazards. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh my god. My boss recently said that he's going to listen to the podcast. So hi, if you're listening.
Along with Kieran Gillen, we just get all the listeners, like all these big names. Your boss. Names.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta talk about Broadway for a second, because there's some little Easter eggs in here for Broadway fans. And I mean, when you have a book that takes place right outside New York City, it's like you gotta. Now, I have a question for you, Lauren.
What's that?
Do they advertise do you ever see commercials for Broadway shows where you live?
Sometimes, but not like often.
Okay, because growing up, okay, the reason I bring this up is they talk about going to see Phantom of the Opera. Kurt talks about how he doesn't like musicals. That's a lie. That man, I refuse to believe that he does not like musicals. I refuse to believe that Kurt doesn't enjoy Broadway. He just doesn't enjoy Phantom of the Opera, and I get it. I totally understand why he doesn't like Phantom of the Opera. I totally get it. It's like the longest running musical, but I mean, not my favorite either. Like, this guy, he's a Music Man guy. Kurt wants to go see the Music Man, which actually has Hugh Jackman in it right now. So, but yeah, he is not into, I get it. Phantom of the Opera. I mean, like, think about it this way. Phantom of the Opera is about this ugly guy who's like deformed, and then he kidnaps a woman. That's the story.
Yeah, glad I've never seen it. I've seen quite a few, like not in person. I've seen Broadway musicals because I'm not in New York, but I've like watched the video versions and stuff, and I've never seen that one. So now I'm not really regretting that.
You know, if you're going to see it, go see the movie with Emmy Rossum that came out a couple years ago, or over a decade ago now. But yeah, I could see him being like, yeah, I'm not into that one. Not a big fan. I mean, that's basically what he ends up doing in Ultimate anyway, when he just like goes evil and steals Dazzler. So
yeah, that's what I do. You know, oh my god, I'm so sorry. We're going everywhere today, but I have to show you because I just came back from the comic store. We're recording this on a Wednesday for those of you nosy listeners.
Oh my god, show me.
Think you know everything. And I got Judgment Day number 6, and I got the Dazzler cover. Look at her.
Oh my god, she's sexy as fuck. Is that
she is?
Is that who's the artist on that?
That's a great question. Let me open it and find out. Hopefully,
because that's gorgeous.
It is I should have known this. I'm so dumb. It's the Art Germ variant. Of course, it's Art Germ. Of course.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, absolutely.
So one last. I'm not going to go much more into Broadway. The reason I brought up the whole commercial thing is when I was a kid, they used to play commercials for Cats all the freaking time, but I also grew up right outside of New York City. So, Oh my god, the Cats commercial was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. To this day, I do not understand Cats or why people liked Cats or why Cats lasted so long. But you know what? Cats is an old story because Cats isn't even on Broadway anymore. And Phantom is now the longest running show on Phantom of the Opera. Longest running show. Okay.
I thought you said Venom for a second. I was like, Venom has a Broadway musical? Listen, whoa, man. I knew about Spider-Man, but what?
That's what I'm saying. Spider-Man did. So I'm sure Venom is not that far behind.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that went through the floor.
Actually, one of the podcasts I listened to and a podcaster I met recently was in the original cast of the Spider-Man musical, which I thought was fucking amazing.
Oh, that's wild, because that musical was apparently very dangerous from what I heard. Very
yeah, like a lot of people got hurt during that musical.
But you know where they wouldn't get hurt, because we would be smart about it. The Nightcrawler musical starring Andrew Garfield. You're welcome.
Oh my god, and he can sing now because he just did the freaking Tick Tick Boom Boom.
Yeah.
Lauren, we are 10 minutes into this episode and we have not even talked about the first page. But
I'm not wrong, am I? I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong at all.
We're manifesting it now. We're adding that to our manifestation.
Putting it out to the universe. I officially, I open myself up to the bountiful universe to give what I ask. Thank you. Okay. I want to say one last thing about Broadway before we move on, because it's pertinent to the issue. Little Easter egg that I thought was super cute was they talk about how Wolverine is a Broadway fan. because Storm forced him to go see The Boy from Oz. And that's a little Easter egg because The Boy from Oz was Hugh Jackman's like big Broadway role that like put him on the map. Yeah, so that was like his big, and like I love the idea. I love when they kind of blur the lines between like with that, because Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine now for over 20 years. He's been Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like at this point, there's no dividing line. It's Hugh Jackman and Wolverine are the same fucking person. So I kind of love that. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about actual shit that happened in the issue.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, it was really interesting to me that we start out and we just have him and Storm and Logan and Christine Palmer like just hanging together in a subway. I was just like, oh, like this is a group. But like I kind of like that, even though there's actual stuff happening and they're talking about, some serious stuff, I kind of like the idea of just seeing more domestic, natural ex people and superheroes. They're just in the subway. Like, I don't know. I really liked it. It was a nice touch.
You're not the first person I've heard say this. I don't mean to like, share but the whole idea of like a domestic kind of like slice of life X-Men book has definitely been talked about in circles I've heard many times, where it's just, I want to see what the X-Men do. Like how, like, okay, I get how they deal with villains, but like, how do they deal with like the fact that Bobby keeps putting the milk back when there's empty? Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking hell, Bobby. Like, this is the second time I've gone for milk and it's empty again. Like, you put it in the trash. So I would love that. I'd love a little like, but yeah, I feel like that's a big ask because everything is just big events and big crazy things happening. And the fact that we have an event happening right now where our boy is shining is like, I don't need to ask for anything else right now. Thank you very much, Marvel.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. But yeah, so they're all hanging around the subway and then they got some crazy stuff start happening, some creepy stuff. They've got to hop on the subway because the subway starts going off the rails, and
it's just like the train won't stop at the station, so they're like, something's obviously wrong. They teleport on, find out the conductor's dead, and there's ghosts.
Oh my God.
There's ghosts.
It's like there's a reason Lisa sang the Ghostbusters song at the beginning or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, we went from demons to ghosts. So last was demons, now we're ghosts. Of course, it's spooky season, so this episode's going to come out right before Halloween, so that's perfect. And so they find these ghosts. Kurt ends up getting ectoplasmed. He just gets covered in goo. And Storm, who's being the wing woman that she needs to be in that moment, that Kurt should be taking advantage of, is like, hey, girl, why don't you and Christine go back to her place and you can shower and get clean, and me and Logan are get the fuck out of here. Storm is looking out for you, buddy. Storm
is looking out for our guy. She is like, listen, go get some. Go enjoy some consensual fun with the girl. Yes.
Yes, like, we know this one's not evil. You fucked the evil ones already, so come on. Like, please.
Yeah, but you know what Kurt does, guys? You know what Kurt does. Oh my God. We have the opportunity to do stuff consensually with a woman that also likes him back that isn't evil. He's like, no, we're just friends. And he keeps insisting it. Duff the man protests too much. And it's like, bruh, why you like this?
And the thing is, though, is that I like the point that she brings up because Kurt is, the thing about Kurt, and I feel like I feel like Kurt is not quick to jump into a romantic relationship, only because like he wants to make sure all the ducks are aligned. He wants to make sure that this is the right person. He's not gonna get hurt. He's not gonna hurt them. And I think that's a big issue with him here, is he's just not ready for a relationship, even though Christine is like ready, willing, and able, like right now. But at the same time, like, she makes a great point where she's like, you like me, I like you. It can just be that for now. It doesn't have to be anything else.
I was going to say, Christine Palmer is an icon. Listen, I know it's like we should accept bare minimum, but she goes above the bare minimum here of going, okay, I understand. We don't have to do anything cool, whatever. She takes it a step further and says, hey, you do like me too, right? Cool. Well, I like you. It can just be this way. We don't have to jump into anything fast. We can literally do whatever. We can just flirt and enjoy our time together. And if something happens, great. If not, that's okay. If it goes too far, like, she does such a good job with that conversation with him. And Kurt is just, he is so locked
He just
down on the inside. He has so many walls up around him emotionally, and it's like, baby, no,
he
no.
and the thing is, like, immediately after she says that, he like wastes no time in fucking it up completely, because she gave him a really great situation where it's like, we don't need to define this. This doesn't need to be anything more than it is. It can just be what it is for now and see where it goes. And I mean, listen, we still got 6 fucking issues with this bitch, so she's not going anywhere, Kurt. You know what I mean? Like, she's not going anywhere. So
I don't know. In this case, I know you made it jokingly. It's totally fine. But I gotta say, she's not the bitch here. Kurt's the bitch right now. Kurt, get it together. I love you, boo. But get it together.
So I want to point something out, that I have read this series over and over and over again. And I have just seen something for the first time, or noticed something for the first time, and it's making me rethink things. So basically, him and Christine having this conversation, and then Aurora chimes in and is like, "Hey, I'm not interrupting anything, am I?" I'm like, that she legit expected them to fuck. She legit was like, "Go to her apartment and fuck her. We're tired of you being all moony around the mansion. Go fuck her and get it out of you, because we're done with this shit." And I never connected those dots before until I read this. Like, oh my God, it was her idea for him to go to Christine's apartment. Now she's calling him being like, "I hope I'm not interrupting anything," hoping he's like, "Actually, yeah, you are." But what does this stupid idiot do? What does this stupid man do? He takes the call. He takes the fucking call during a very important conversation with the girl he's interested in, takes the call, and then says, "No, nothing important."
Yeah.
Well, there you go, asshole.
He needs some therapy, let me tell you. I love you, Kurt. You need some therapy. It's okay. Like, we all need it at times. But, like, I think that's funny that you point that out, because Christine Palmer does mention, "Hey, what about you and Storm? Like, I noticed something there." And like you said, though, it's so funny, because I think that speaks to Storm's character too. Even if there is something kind of flirty or whatever going between Storm and Kurt, which I think there's always that undertone.
There's always something, but it's, I don't see them
they just
together.
always have that flirty understanding. Like, even now in the Krakoan era, they've had that understanding. It's just not acted on. It doesn't seem like there's any motion for it too, which is fine. But even when that's happening, Storm is still like, "Hey, if he likes this girl, wants to be happy, I don't give a shit. Like, go do you." Like, yes. He's got 2 women in this book that are all like, "Hey, we'll work with you on whatever you want. You just let us know." And he's here just like flopping around me like, "I don't know. Close the door, close the walls." And it's like, oh my God, Kurt, stop listening to 3 Days Grace and just let yourself enjoy life. Swear.
I mean. So anyway, that's literally only two pages, even though we spent like 80 minutes on it.
That takes up like, 6 pages of the issue at least, though, guys.
Yeah, but like, we're gonna be coming back to this more, because it just keeps coming up, because he's just so stupid. stupid man. Yeah, so basically now they have to go investigate this ghost situation. And the reason I said like the Kurt Wagner thing in the beginning is like, who decided this was his job? Who decided that he was the one? Do you know what I mean? Like, there are necromancers who work with the X-Men. And it's like, they're just like, I don't know, get the blue guy who teleports. I don't know, have him go fucking deal with the ghosts. Like, it, and he kind of almost says it in a way where it's like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but okay, I guess I'll do it. But, he meets with the mayor to figure out who the fuck these ghosts are, and he meets with the conductor's wife, and they don't give him a ton of information, but he's starting to kind of put the pieces together and decides he has to, in order to figure it out, he's got to go back into the subway and take a walk around. And I don't know why, but this whole arc really reminds me of the Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy Ghostbusters that came out a couple years ago, which I loved. I want to throw it out there. I loved that movie. It was fucking great. So much fun. But it just reminds me of that, because they had like the ghosts in the subway too, whatever. Yeah, and guess what? He shows up under the subway. His flashlight goes out, because of course it does. And then when his flashlight comes back on, boom, ghosts. Ghosts everywhere. Just lots of ghosts. And that's how we end issue 5.
Yeah, that's issue 5. The first issue of this arc. It's kind of interesting how much the first issue weighs heavily on like the relationships between Kurt and Storm and Logan and Christine Palmer, and then it's just like, oh yeah, here's the plot. And then the next issue, it's like, cool, we're gonna like hammer you with what the actual the plot, which is great because the next issue we're right in the
Oh
in some
yeah.
action.
Oh yeah. I actually I love that they put Logan and Storm in there. Like, I feel like everyone's forgotten that Logan and Kurt are legit best friends. Like,
Yeah.
BFFs forever. Like, they are best friends. And I feel like everyone keeps forgetting that because it just seems like they keep putting Kurt in these books where he doesn't actually interact with anyone he fucking likes.
Yeah, and like, what the fuck's up with that? Like, okay, if you ship Logan and Kurt, great. If you just see them as friends, great. But the fact of the matter is, they have a incredibly close bond. They should interact as such.
Oh yeah,
But I
like I
agree
would.
with you. We haven't seen that a lot, and it's kind of like honestly, I feel like not that we need more Logan books, but like you can give me a Logan and Kurt like little mini series. Like, come
Oh
on
my
now, that
god.
would be so fun and cute. Like,
Do
please.
you remember the issue? It was during that like San Francisco phase of the X-Men where um Logan, Piotr, and Kurt go on like a buddy trip through Russia.
No, but I know that's an issue you want to talk about. We're gonna have to do that because
Yeah,
we're
we're gonna
going
have to
to
do that
next
soon.
year.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's like the best story ever, but it's fucking adorable because it's just the three of them, and of course I think they like run into Omega Red and like of course have to
Of
fight shit,
course.
but like it's very cute. It's something about like they have to go back to Colossus for something about Colossus's family. I don't fucking know, but at the same time, like Kurt is convalescing because he had gotten hurt because I know he has like a cane in the issue, but it's cute and they like there's like they play pranks on Kurt where they make his image inducer make him look like Angelina Jolie, so he gets like attacked by like a mob of people. It's very cute. We'll get to that when we get to that. I want to point out this cover of number 6 looks like Michael Jackson in Thriller. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't remember the cover because I just read it recently. Let me pull it up so
It's
I
these
can.
it's these Greg Land covers. I mean, but like it just looks so much like Michael Jackson in Thriller, and like I don't understand how they can't figure out
There
how
it
long
is.
Kurt's hair is because every
Number
cover is
6
like
or number 5?
number 6.
It does actually. It looks like it was definitely inspired by the music video for sure.
Yeah, but like I don't understand why they keep making his hair different lengths. Like I mean, whatever. I guess
Look,
that doesn't
even in
matter.
Krakoa, they can't figure out what they're doing with his facial hair, and I just come on, guys,
Yep.
consistency.
Can I just say it's not a goatee, it's a beard. Give us the full daddy beard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
Yes,
tired
the
of
full
the
daddy.
little. Listen, look, X-Men Red did it best. Like, just use that as reference, okay?
Can we make this official? So you know how like a group of crows is called a murder of crows?
Mm-hmm.
A group of beards is a daddy.
I can't.
So a daddy of beards. I love it, right?
I mean, I think we have to approve that. So approved.
Listen, everybody gets a beard. Thor gets a beard. Captain America gets a beard. Kurt gets a beard. Daddy of beards. I'm in. All right, so let's get back to the issues at hand. So yeah, Kurt is now fighting these ghosts in the second issue, trying to understand what they want or what what they're here for, because people are dying. Like people keep dying from these ghosts. And the one thing that comes to his mind is that the widow he'd spoken to of the conductor was like, maybe they need help. So in that moment of him changing from fighting to kind of trying to communicate, one of the ghosts now becomes more human, and the ghosts then lead Kurt to this weird like hole in a wall, literally a hole in the wall, where he finds what appear to be bone fragments, but he's not sure until he meets with the other blue asshole. Yeah, Hank. So,
Mr. Beast. It's so funny because their conversation cracked me up to start before they get into talking about the other stuff, because even Beast calls him out on his bullshit. Beast is like, bruh, you got this girl that wants you. And Kurt's like, yeah, but like, Beast is like, bruh, I would pay for that, basically. Like, I'm blue and furry, you're blue and furry, and yet I have shit luck, you have great luck, but you're not taking it. Like, kind of got complex here, bruh. And like, they just have this conversation. So like, if Beast is calling you out on the fact that you have something and you should be doing something with it, I'm just saying, bruh. I'm just saying.
This is one of my absolute favorite moments of Beast ever, because I love Beast. I love to hate Beast, and I love moments that make me dislike him more. or play into how stupid he is. Like when he falls in love with a cat, like literally falls in love with a cat, doesn't realize it's a mutated cat. I mean, he's an idiot. For the smartest man, he's a fucking idiot. And okay, what this reminds me of is like every incel online crying about their life and how they can't get laid. Like, Beast,
Yeah.
you're beginning to get complex. No, you're stupid and you suck and everyone hates you. Like, you like, I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm gonna give you a hint as to why maybe Kurt can score with the ladies better than you can. He's never committed genocide.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm just saying, like, he's never killed an entire country full of fucking people. I mean, granted, this was well before that. Still, Beast, you have sucked for a very long time. You know what Kurt also didn't do? Kurt also didn't tell Wanda not to have a piece of fucking cake because to watch her figure. I will share that page till my dying breath. Beast, you're an asshole. You don't deserve anything. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That was a really good TED Talk. And you didn't even like script it or plan it. I mean,
no, anytime I think about how much Beast sucks and how much I dislike Beast, it's always like this page and the Wanda panel. It's like those two things come to me and I'm like, oh, I'm ready for you, I'm ready for you, Hank McCoy. You just dare to show up in the real world. I'm fucking coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like, you look like a fucking cat, Beast. I mean, like, there are a lot of reasons why, like, you're not getting laid that have nothing to do with you being blue and furry. Kurt is fucking awesome, and you suck. And then on top of it, Kurt's like, I'm gonna take one of those bone fragments and, like, have someone else look into it. And then Beast has the nerve to be like, are you really gonna find someone smarter than me to do it?
It's true,
it's like, hey, maybe he does know someone smarter than you, Dick. Maybe he does, and
you know what? He does. Because guys, guess what? We didn't forget. Oh no, this isn't just Kurt and Storm or Kurt and Christine Palmer. We can't forget about Amanda Sefton. We cannot forget her.
The queen. I love her so much in this series. And I don't know why I've been so anti-Amanda because I just don't love them having sex. I just don't love them sleeping together because they're siblings. But I love her so much in this series. Brad and Roger need their own book. Let's be real.
Honestly, facts. Make the pet X-Men. They can be in it.
But what I also kind of love about Amanda is she's a little patronizing, but I totally dig it. Because she's
got low-key Emma Frost vibes. And I'm not saying really she is just like her. I'm not saying she's a copy of Emma. She is not. I love her in her own way as well. But yeah, she's definitely got those undertones. I'm like, oh man, if you put Amanda Sefton as Magic and Emma in the same room together, we're all dead. None of us are standing by the end of that.
Okay, here's what I desperately want from this. I desperately want Amanda Sefton to show up in Krakoa just like for a visit, and Emma's there wearing like one of her white outfits with a little X on it, and she's like, the X, that's cute, you guys do that, the X on everything, because what, do you forget that you're X-Men unless you have X's on everything? Because she has like she makes that point where like she has runes on her table, and Kurt's like, what's that symbol? And she's like, dude, you can put X's on literally everything you fucking own, but I can't put runes on my table. Like, give me a fucking break. Go back to your little cult, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, so she uses her magic and powers to figure out that this is a bone fragment, and not just that, she's able to like actually get in contact with the guy who once had that bone fragment, the ghost, and figure out what's happening. Because it turns out that, these ghosts are of a bunch of men who were killed in like a huge, I don't know, it wasn't like an explosion. They aren't really terribly clear, but something happened. There was a cave-in and like 17 or 18 men died, and nobody has talked about it. Nobody knows about it. Nobody said a damn thing about it for over 100 years. And so the ghosts are like, hey, how about you remember that like we were here and we did this? And, and so, Kurt then does whatever hero does, hits the library, gets out the microfiche, and of course, this is like 2004. I mean, granted, internet existed back then, but not the way it does today, right? So it's like,
definitely not.
He's in the library pumping it out, going through backlogs of the New York Times, whereas today you can fucking pay the paywall and then go into NewYorkTimes.com and just do a quick little keyword search.
Right.
But, he at least finds out about this horrific accident, there was only one article written about it, and then no one ever said a thing about it again. And the families of these guys have no answers. Or, I mean, again, it's like over 100 years ago, but still, they don't have answers. They don't know anything. So he finally reaches back out to the mayor and is like, "Hey, Mr. Mayor, I know I'm as confused as you are that I'm the one doing this, because I have literally no expertise in the fucking field of ghosts. And there are 1,000 other people who could have done this better than me. But you know what? I figured it out. This is what's going on. We need to just acknowledge that these men died. And I think everything will be okay." And guess what? That's what happens. That's what works.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how yeah, we have some action at the beginning when he first sees the ghosts in this issue and stuff. But yeah, in the end, the solution is more just, hey, don't be a dickhead and like just do the right thing. And so it's actually, I don't know, it's a pretty realistic solution. Like there's not a lot of superhero heroics or anything that need to happen. He just had to figure out what the issue was. He figured it out. And then, yeah, the mayor, believe it or not, actually did the right thing and said, hey, we apologize for this and this wasn't right. We want to connect with families and make reparations. But Kurt does point out that we don't know if he'll actually do it or not. We'll just have to see how it goes. But at least it is the right step. And then, of course, him and Christine, basically, at the end, he's like, hey, Christine, he's trying to talk to her about it. And then she's like, nope, I get you. Just want to be friends. I'm like, I swear to God, I can't win.
It's just so, like, here's my thing, too. Like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you gotta block his number. Because, like, granted, I love her and I want her in more of this. But if I was her friend, I would be like, you need to block his number. Like, you need to stop seeing him. Like, you need to just cut. Like, you want more. He doesn't. He's a fucking mess. And yeah, like, you need to look out for you. And granted, by the end of the series, she finally does make that decision. We do get a lot more adventures with her before then. But yeah, it's like, girl, like, you can't fix him. Remember,
listen,
you can't
again,
fix him.
You can love him. You can think he's the greatest in the world. Just that's how I think of Nightcrawler. But when he is a mess, when the person or the thing you love is a mess, you gotta part ways for a bit, man, or maybe forever, depending. So, but I don't know. How do you feel about this so far? Because you hint on it earlier. I'm interested in your thoughts, Lisa. How Detective Kurt, essentially. I feel like this is like Detective Kurt. How do we feel about Kurt playing detective all the time?
I don't hate it. I really like the idea of him being thrust into these like supernatural situations that he absolutely has really no knowledge or capability of, but they're like, he kind of looks like a demon. Let him do it. I don't mind Detective Kurt. Like, I like anything where I can just see more of him and like read more about him. So if he's working on his own, then he has less people to share the panels with. I mean, the next arc we're getting into is going to be a little bit less detective-y and way more, like, introspective. Because, I mean, if Christine thinks he's a mess right now, well, he's about to get a whole fucking lot messier. And she's about to fly across the world for this man who still...
Oh, man, I mean, we're getting some kind of rom-com. Maybe it's just a dramedy, though. Less of the comedy and more of the drama.
It's like, so basically the latter half of this series, which is, I feel like
I was saying, don't spoil it, Lisa. I know you want to talk about it, but don't spoil it.
Oh, well, I won't spoil anything, but we are going to Germany. I will say that. So we're going to get some backstory coming up real soon, which is fun. But yeah, like, he's just, God, Kurt, like, okay. Moving on from talking about what an idiot he is. I will say that I really love the way that this arc is written, and I can tell that Roberto, you have to say it because I can't say it.
Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, is that it?
Thank you. And I've even been taking Spanish lessons. You'd think they'd help. I can't fucking do it. I don't know why I can't do it.
You just gotta look it up on Google and like hear hear how to say in your ear. And just repeat it over and over, and you'll get it.
That's what I'm gonna have to do. So you can tell that he's a very talented, like, he can write horror, because there are little bits and things that happen in here that, were they on a screen, they would be jump scares, but because it's on a page, it doesn't work that way. Like the whole thing with the tea kettle going off, and then it turns into the sound of the train horn. And it's like there's little things that happen where I'm like, oh wow, this guy is, I mean, he wrote Riverdale, which Riverdale has like, I mean, it's not horror, but it has some horror elements to it here and there. I mean, it starts with murders. Yeah, he's just very good at that, and I really appreciated that about the way that it was written and the pacing of the issues. And it's just, for like a second arc, I think it's a really good arc. I think it's just, it has like a little bit of heart. It's very down to earth. I mean, it's silly to say like with ghosts and everything, but it's not an X-Men story, right? It's like not about superheroes and X-Men and fighting villains. It's about, it's a ghost story and about finding, you know, peace for these men who died, which is a very different type of story, but I really enjoy it. And I like that. And Kurt makes a lot of sense to be someone who would really be helpful to a ghost. I feel like a ghost could show up to Kurt and he'd be like, what do you need? I'm here for you. Like, let me help. The one thing I won't do is fuck that nurse, but anything else I will do.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I mean, I think I really liked all the supporting characters in this. Like I said, I liked seeing them and him interacting with them all in these two issues. That's kind of what sold it for me. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not sure how I feel about Detective Kurt. Like, I'm not sure I'd want to see a series like this now, especially after we've already done Legion of X and he's been a rip-off cop through that. And so I'm not really sure I want to see that in the future. I still like him more doing his pirate adventures and swashbuckler and still saving people, and he can still help ghosts on a pirate ship. Like, so, but I still enjoyed this. I think it's a really good read, and it's pretty well done overall. And I wish we saw more of these characters. Where's Amanda? Where's Christine? Where are they? Where are they, Marvel?
Christine Palmer is now married to a guy who wore a blue velvet jacket to their wedding. You cannot tell me that wasn't an Easter egg. That wasn't a Nightcrawler Easter egg. You just can't tell me that. I just can't. I just won't believe it. I won't believe it. Sorry. In a movie where Wanda was so important and the multiverse, come on. It's got to be a Nightcrawler thing.
It all connects. It all connects.
Yeah. I'm just happy she didn't marry fucking Doctor Strange. I would have been so pissed. Anyway, well, guys, thanks for coming and joining us for another episode of Simply Amazing. We are making our way through this slowly but surely. We're getting there. We're making our way downtown, walking fast. Sorry.
Yes. Yes. Why are you sorry?
I don't know. I every time I hear that song, I think of Terry Crews from White Chicks, and it's one of my absolute favorite movies. It's one of my absolute, not my favorite movies, but my absolute favorite moments in cinematic history is that moment of him singing that song. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. It's fucking brilliant. Anyway, thanks for coming by and joining us again. We're making our way through this series. We're halfway through. We got another 6 issues to go. So 3 more episodes we're going to do. Not weekly because, you know, like things like Judgment Day happen and we have to fucking talk about that. So,
we have to.
Yeah. So we'll get to it when we get to it, right? So we'll get to it eventually. Yeah. But yeah, if you enjoy this, please find us on our socials. You can find our website at simplyamazingpod.com. We've also, we've got Twitter, we've got YouTube, we've got Facebook, we've got everything. So come and find us. We're going to be doing a live soon. We keep on talking about it. Watch our Twitter because we will announce it on Twitter. We're going to do a live. I'm going to tell my Chris Claremont story, which is amazing. And we're going to give away a hand-signed copy of Excalibur #1 by Mr. Chris Claremont, which I picked up for the purposes of the giveaway at Comic-Con when I had my ridiculous run-in with him and have an amazing story to tell. So please look out for our Twitter when we're going to do this live. Probably the next couple weeks. I don't know. It's crazy.
November or December. Crazy. It's going to happen before the end of the year.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to happen. I would say it's going to happen before the end of November, like for sure. But we'll make it work. We'll figure it out sometime. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll do some other giveaways and some fun things. Come find us on our socials. Like I said, simplyamazingpod.com. You can come find me at the OG Nocturne, where I literally only talk about Nightcrawler and Dreamlight Valley because I'm fucking obsessed with that game. Oh my god, are you playing Dreamlight Valley?
Never heard of it. Nope.
Oh my god.
About today, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's Animal Crossing, but with Disney characters. It's amazing.
Okay, that does sound pretty fun because I've enjoyed Animal Crossing.
Oh my god, it's so much better than Animal Crossing. It's got Disney characters, and like I am just crossing my fingers for when they start introducing Marvel characters because it's going to happen eventually.
I need that, but with the X-Men, then I'll be thrilled.
Well, they'll get to it eventually, right? They'll get to it when they get to it, but yeah. Come find us on Twitter. Where can they find you, Lauren?
yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at friendlymBHDBI, and you can find all my other stuff there. You can find my other YouTube channel, which I do mostly comics and indie comic stuff with, and all that good stuff.
Awesome. And if you're out there listening and you're just like, Lisa, shut up. I can change him. I can make him better. Honey, he's told you 1,000 times he just wants to be friends. You just need to end it. Okay, just stop torturing yourself like this because you are simply amazing.